Hello, this is Mrs. Ridgway. I am going to cover PowerPoint Chapter 2. Turn with me to PowerPoint Chapter 2 and go to page 2 and 3. Look at both 2 and 3. We're going to be formatting graphics. Be sure to study these 2 pages. Then on page 4, we're going to apply a theme used in another presentation. Step 1 had me go to the module folder. I opened 2-1 and I named it Hospital. Step 2, on the ribbon, click the Design tab. In the Themes group, click More button. And then click Browse for Themes. The Choose Theme or Themed Document dialog box opens. Now, step 4 says to navigate to the PowerPoint module folder. And then click Support Theme. The custom theme is applied. Step 5, in the Themes group, point to the first theme in the gallery, which is the current theme. Its screen tip identifies it as Support Theme. See Figure 2-1. The options that appear in the Variants group are the Office Theme variants. If you click a variant, you will reapply the Office theme with the variant you selected. On page 5, after you apply a custom theme, you might need to adjust some of the slides in the presentation. You will check the slides now. Step 6, on page 5, click the Home tab. And then on slide 1, which is your title slide, click Windsor Veterinary Hospital. Okay, so I'm going to go to Home tab 1 and then click, click the title. Step 7, in the font group, click the font arrow. Notice that look at the theme font for both the headings and the body text. This is different from the Office theme, which uses Calibri for the text, for the body text, and Calibri Light for the headings. Step 8, in the Slides group, click Layout button. The layout gallery appears. The custom layouts that Teresa created are listed in the gallery, as shown in Figure 2-2 in your book. Press Escape. When you applied the custom theme, the title slide and the slides with the title and content and 2 content layouts were changed to use the customized versions of these layouts. Teresa wants you to change the layout of slide 3 to the custom title and table layout. Change the layout of slide 5 to the custom title and subtitle layout, and then add the hospital slogan on slide 5. Turn with me to page 6 to examine the slides and apply custom layouts to slides 3, 5, and 6. Display slide 2. Slide 2 looks fine. Display slide 3. You need to apply a custom layout to this slide. In the Slides group, click the Layout button and then click the title and table layout. The custom layout is applied to slide 3. Display slide 4. This slide looks fine. Display slide 5. And then apply the title and subtitle layout to it. Click on Layout, and then Title and Slide and Subtitle Layout. On slide 5, click in the subtitle text, the placeholder, and then type the only, just like you see it in the book, the only person who loves your pets more than we do is you. Including the period. Okay. Step 7, display slide 6. With the custom theme applied, the email address in the last bulleted item does not fit on one line. Apply the to content smaller layout to slide 6. To content smaller. The layout is applied and the text in the bulleted list changes to 24 points. The email address now fits on one line. Save your changes. You can add many shapes to a slide, including lines, rectangles, stars, and more. To draw a shape, click the Shapes button in the Illustrations group on the Insert tab. Click a shape in the gallery, and then click on the slide to draw a shape at the default size of about 1 inch wide, or click and drag to draw the shape the size that you want. Page 7. We're going to insert an arrow shape on slide 4 and then add text to it. Display slide 4. Click the Insert tab at the top, and then in the Illustrations group, click on Shapes. The Shapes gallery opens. In addition to the recently used shapes group at the top, the gallery is organized into 9 categories of shapes. The recently used shapes, rectangles, basic shapes, block arrows, equation shapes, flowchart, stars and banners, and callouts. Page 8, step 3. Under block arrows, click the arrow left shape. The gallery closes and the pointer changes to the thin cross pointer when you place it onto the slide. On the slide, click above the photo on the right and below the word equipment in the title. An orange left pointing arrow approximately 1 inch long appears. Okay, so I'm going to drag. Okay, I needed to start it. Let me delete that. Undo. Then I'm going to insert a shape and start under equipment. An orange left pointing arrow, approximately 1 inch long, well, I've got it longer than that, appears. Don't worry about the exact placement of the arrow. You will move it later. The Drawing Tools Format tab is the active tab on the ribbon now, if you look up at the top. With the shape selected, type Brand New MRI Scanner. Here, let me make this a little bit thicker. Okay, Brand New MRI Scanner. The text that you type appears in the arrow, but it does not all fit. So what I did was I moved the pointer on top of the shape border so that the pointer changes the move pointer, and then I clicked. The entire shape is selected, and that's what it is right there. Click the Home tab, and then in the font group, okay, Home. In the font group, click the Decrease Font Size button. It's the A with the down arrow. Click it twice. The text in the shape is now 14 points. You need to resize the shape, and I did that just a while ago. Remember that unlike pictures, the aspect ratio of a shape is not locked. If you want to maintain the aspect ratio when you resize a shape, you press and hold the shift while you drag a corner sizing handle. Step 3, press and hold shift drag one of the corner sizing handles to lengthen the arrow until the text fits on one line. Well, okay, so I'll move it in. And then I'm going to move it back out. Okay. I released the Shift key. Step 4, click the Drawing Tools Format tab. In the Size group, click in the Height box, the Size group, the Height, and type a 0.07. Oh, excuse me, that's wrong, 0.7. 0.7. And then press Enter. The shape is resized so it is 0.7 inches high. In the Size group, click the Shape Width and type 2.7. Press Enter. The arrow is now exactly 2.7 inches long. Now you need to position the arrow shape on the photo. When you drag a shape with text, excuse me, you need to drag a border of the shape or a part of the shape that does not contain text. Well, but first, let me go back and check Home, and I need to click the A to decrease the font size back down to 14. All right, there we go. It fits. Now, position the pointer on the arrow shape so that the pointer is the move pointer, and then drag the arrow shape on top. Okay, so on top of the photo, on the right, so that the smart guides indicate that the middle of the shape aligns with the tops of the two photos, and the right end of the shape aligns with the right edge of the slide. I'm going to click on it again so you can see the little red dotted line. Page 9. Save your changes to the presentation. Bottom of page 9, formatting objects. When you select a shape, including a text box, the Drawing Tools Format Contextual tab appears at the top of your screen. When you select a picture on a slide, the Picture Tools Format Contextual tab appears. These tabs contain tools for formatting shapes or pictures. You can modify the fill of a shape by filling it with a color, a gradient, which is shading, a textured pattern, or a picture. Page 10. To change the feel, outline, and style of the arrow shapes. On slide 4, the state-of-the-art medical equipment, click the arrow shape to select it. Oh, I've already got it selected. And then click the Drawing Tools Format tab at the top of your screen. Step 2, in the Shape Styles group, click the Shape Fill arrow. The Shape Fill menu opens. You can fill a shape with a color, a picture, a gradient, or a texture. Or you can remove the fill by clicking No Fill. Step 3, in the Theme Colors section, click the Tan Accent 6 square. The fill of the selected arrow changes to tan. Click the Shape Fill arrow. Point to Gradient. And then in the Dark Variations section, click the linear right. Whoopsie, let's see here. Gradient, dark, it's diagonal, down. Okay. The shape is filled with a gradient of tan that is darker on the left side of the shape and fades to a lighter shade on the right side of the shape. In the Shape Styles group, click the Shape Outline arrow. The Shape Outline menu appears. You can change the color of a shape outline, the width, or the style. Page 11. On the menu, point to Weight, and then click 6 point. The width of the outline increases to 6 points. Teresa doesn't like this look, so she asks you to apply a style instead. In the Shape Styles group, click the More button. the Shape Styles gallery opens. Scroll down, and then in the Presets section, it's at the bottom, click the colored field Tan. Let's see if it's this one here. Color field Tan, accent 6, no outline. The style, which fills the shape with tan and removes the, which fills the shape with tan and removes the outline, is applied to the shape. On some shapes, you can drag the yellow adjustment handle to change the shape's proportions. We're going to adjust the arrow shape. Step 1, click the arrow shape. Okay, it's already clicked if necessary to select it. There are 2 yellow adjustment handles. Well, I guess that's kind of looks orangey to me. So there's 2 yellow adjustment handles on the arrow shape. One adjustment handle is at the right end of the arrow. The other adjustment handle is at the base of the arrow head on the top border of the shape. Drag the adjustment handle at the base of the arrow head to the right so that the bottom edge of the arrowhead is approximately between the letters A and N in brand. Adjustment handle at the base. Okay, that must be this one. Drag it to where it is between A and N. Compare your screen to figure 2-7. Another way you can format a shape is to apply effects to it, such as a shadow, reflection, glow, soft edges, bevel, and 3D rotation effect. We're going to apply 3D effects to the shape on slide 1. Display slide 1. Click the cross shape, and then click the Drawing Tools Format tab at the top. In the Shape Styles group, click the Shape Effects. After you click the Shape Effects button, the Shapes Effects menu opens. The menu contains a list of the types of effects that you can apply. Step 3, on the menu, point to Bevel, and then click the Relaxed Inset. Button. The bevel effect is applied to the shape. Click the Shape Effects button. Point to 3D Rotation to open a submenu of 3D effects that you can apply to a shape, and then point to several of the options watching the live preview effect. On the submenu, down at the very bottom, we're going to choose the top right. Oh, well, I'm on it. Top right. This is the rotation effect. The effect is applied to the shape. The shape doesn't look very different. To see the effect, you need to change the depth of the effect. So in the Shape Styles group, click Shape Effects, point to 3D Rotation, and then click 3D rotation options at the very bottom. The Format Shape pane opens on the right. In the pane, Shape Options is selected at the top, and the Effects button is selected. In the pane, the 3D rotation section is expanded. You can customize the rotation of the shape in this section. In the Format Shape pane, click 3D Format. The 3D Format section expands. In this section of the pane, you can customize the bevel, the depth of the shape, the contour color, and the look of the shape by changing the material and lighting settings. Page 13, Step 8. In the 3D Format section, in the Depth section, click in the Size box. And then edit the number so it is 120 points. The shape changes so that the depth is increased to 120 points. The cross now looks three-dimensional. Step 9, in the Depth section, click the Color button, which is the paint bucket. And then click Dark Blue Accent 3, Darker 50%. Dark Blue Accent 3, 25, 50%. The color of the depth shading changes to dark blue. Compare your screen to figure 2-9 in the book. You can format pictures as well as shapes. Turn with me to page 14. We're going to format the photos on slide 4. Display slide 4. You can go ahead and close out of the format. Display slide 4. Click the photo on the left. And then click the Picture Tools Format tab at the top of your screen. In the Picture Styles group, click More. And then click Metal Oval. Style. The style is applied to the picture. Teresa does not like that style. So in the Adjust group, we're going to reset the picture. So go up to the ribbon, move to the left, and click Reset Picture button. The style is removed from the picture, and the picture is reset to its original condition. Step 4, in the Picture Styles group, click the More button. And then click Simple Frame White Style. This style applies a 7-point white border to the photo. In the Picture Styles group, click the Picture Border arrow. The Picture Border menu is similar to the Shape Outline menu. On the menu, click the Dark Blue Accent 3 color. The picture border is now blue. You need to apply the same formatting to the photo on the right on slide 4. You can repeat the same formatting steps, or you can copy the formatting. With the left photo on slide 4 still selected, go to the Home tab ribbon and click the Format Painter, and then move the pointer to the slide. The pointer changes to a paintbrush. Click the photo on the right. The style and border color of the photo on the left is copied and applied to the photo on the right. Save your changes. Duplicating objects. Teresa decides she wants you to add an arrow pointing to the picture of the operating room on the left side of slide 4. You can draw another arrow, but instead you'll duplicate the arrow you just drew so that they have the same style and the same size. Step 1 on slide 4. Click the arrow shape to select it. On the Home tab, click the clipboard group. It's in the clipboard group. We're going to click the copy arrow. Okay, I'm going to click on it, and then in the clipboard, okay, it's not letting us, let's see. On the Home tab, in the clipboard arrow, click the copy arrow. Okay, so maybe I need to click off of it and then click on it again. Let me click off and see what, and click again. Okay, so click off and then click back on. All right, now click the arrow next to the copy in the clipboard group. On the menu, click, we're going to choose duplicate. A duplicate of the arrow appears on the slide. Move the pointer on the top of the duplicate shape so that the pointer changes to the I-beam. And then click before the first word brand. The insertion point appears in the shape before brand. Press and hold the shift. Click after the last word, scanner. And then release the shift. All the text between the locations where you clicked is selected. Type recently updated, OR. The text you type replaces the selected text. Drag the duplicate arrow to the left so that the smart guides indicate that the left edge of the duplicate arrow shape aligns with the left edge of the slide. And the duplicate arrow shape aligns with the original arrow shape as shown in 2:11. Save your changes. Page 16, rotating and flipping objects. You can rotate and flip any object on a slide. To flip an object, you click the rotate button. We can use the rotate commands on the rotate menu as well. We're going to flip the duplicate arrow shape on slide 4. On slide 4, click the brand new MRI scanner arrow to select it. Well, I've got it selected already. The shape border appears with the rotate handle above the shape. It's the circular handle here. The right end of the arrow is touching the right side of the slide. Position the pointer on the rotate handle so that the pointer changes to the rotate pointer. And then drag the rotate handle counterclockwise to the left until only the bottom corner of the arrow shape is still touching the right side of the slide. Click the recently updated, okay, we've got it, and then drag the rotate handle 180 degrees to the right so that the arrow is pointing to the right. Well, I did that. Now the arrow is pointing in the correct direction, but the text in the arrow is now upside down. So on the quick access toolbar, let's undo. Click the undo button. And then click the Drawing Tools Format tab at the top. In the Arrange group, we're going to click the Rotate button. So look for the Arrange group and then click the Rotate button. The Rotate menu opens. Click Flip Horizontal. Flip Horizontal. The arrow flips horizontally and is now pointing right. Unlike when you rotated the arrow, the text is still right side up. Step 7, drag the rotate handle clockwise to the right until only the bottom corner of the arrow shape is still touching the left side of the slide. Usually using the rotate handle is fine, but you can also rotate objects by a precise number of degrees. So I was to drag this clockwise to the right until only the bottom corner of the shape, okay, usually using, oh, I'm supposed to be on the right side, aren't I? Let me go back up here. Okay, click the flip horizontal. Okay, now drag the rotate handle clockwise to the right until only the bottom corner of the arrow shape is still touching the left side of the slide. Well, that is the left side. Usually using the rotate handle is fine, but you can also rotate objects by precise number of degrees. Page 17, in the Arrange group, click the Rotate button. And then click More Rotation Options. The Format Shape pane opens with the Shape Options tab selected and the Size and Properties button selected. The Size section is expanded. The value in the rotation box indicates the number of degrees the object was rotated in a clockwise direction from its original position. Step 9, if the value in the rotation box is not 15 degrees, click the rotation box, edit the value so it is 15 degrees. It is 15 degrees, and then press enter. Click the brand new MRI scanner arrow shape. The value in the rotation box will be a value between 270 degrees and 360 degrees. Okay. This is because no matter which way you dragged to rotate handle, The final value in the rotation box is the number of degrees the object is rotated in a clockwise direction. If the value in the rotation box is not 345, well, I'm not showing anything. So I'm going to select and type 345 and press enter. All right, so I pressed enter. Close the Format Shape pane and then save your changes. A table is a grid of rows and columns that can contain text and graphics. A cell is the box where a row and column intersect, just like we learned in Excel. Each cell contains one piece of information. Grid lines in a table are the non-printing lines that show cell boundaries. Grid lines create a table's structure. Teresa wants you to add a table to slide 3. This table will have 3 columns, one to list the services, one to give examples of the services, and one to list notes. The bottom of page 17, step 1, we're going to add a table. So display slide 3. You can click the table button in the content placeholder, or you can use the table command on the insert tab. Let's see what they want us to do. So we can either click this right here, or it's telling us to go up and click the insert tab. So let's go up here to insert, and then in the tables group, click the table button. A menu opens with a grid of squares above 3 commands. Step 3, point to the grid, and without clicking the mouse button, move the pointer over the grid. The label above the grid indicates how large the table will be. And a preview of the table appears on the slide. So right above it's showing right now 3x2 table. When the label above the grid indicates 3x4, all right, 3x4, click to insert a table with 3 columns and 4 rows. A selection border appears around the table, and the insertion point is in the first cell in the first row. On the ribbon, 2 table tools contextual tabs appear. So look up at the top and you'll see the Design tab and the Layout tab. Now you're ready to fill the blank cells with the information about the services. Step 1 at the bottom of page 18, in the first cell, in the first row, type Service. The text you typed appears in the first cell. Press the Tab key. The insertion point moves to the second cell in the first row. Type Details. Press Tab and then type Notes. The insertion point is, then we're going to press Tab again. There we go. Now the insertion point is in the first cell in the second row. In the first cell in the second row, type Wellness Exams. Press Tab and then type Vaccinations. In the second cell, you need to add 2 more lines in the second cell in the second row. So press Enter and type Nutritional Counseling. and then press enter and type flea, tick, and heartworm prevention. The height of the second row increased to fit the extra lines of text in its cell when we pressed enter. Step 6, click in the first cell in the third row. Type surgery, and then press tab. In the second cell in the third row, type spay and neuter. Press enter, type foreign body removal. Press enter and then type trauma repair. Click in the first cell in the last row and type diagnostic imaging. Press tab. In the second cell in the last row, type X-rays. Press enter, type CT and MRI scans. Press enter and type ultrasounds. Page 19, you can modify the table by adding or deleting rows and columns. To insert rows and columns in our table, we're going to make sure that the insertion point is in the last row in the table. And it is. It's in the last row in the table. Click the Table Tools layout up at the top. And then in the Rows and Columns group, click the Insert Below. Insert Below button. A new row is inserted below the current row. Step 3, click in the first cell in the new last row. Type microchipping. And then press tab. Type chip frequency is 134.2. There we go. And then we're going to press tab. The insertion point is in the last cell in the last row. Press the tab. A new row is created. So that's a second way to create a new row. And the insertion point is in the first cell in the new row. Type dental care. Press tab and then type preventative care. Press enter and then type treatment of all oral problems. You need to insert a row above the last row. So in the Rows and Columns group, click the Insert Above. A new row is inserted above the current row, and all the cells in the new row are selected. You also need to insert a column to the left of the first column. So click any cell in the first column, and then in the Rows and Column group, click the Insert Left button. A new first column is inserted. Teresa decided she doesn't want to add notes to the table, so you'll delete the last column. She also decided that she doesn't need the new row that you added as the second to the last row in the table, so you'll delete that row. Step 1, click in any cell in the last column in the table. This is the column you will delete. On the Table Tools Layout tab, in the Rows and Columns group, click the Delete button. The Delete button menu opens. Click Delete Columns. The current column is deleted and the entire table is now selected. Click in any cell in the second to the last row, which is the empty row. This is the row you want to delete. So in the Rows and Columns group, click the Delete button and then Delete Rows. Formatting a table. After you insert data into a table, you need to think about how the table looks and whether the table will be readable for the audience. Page 21, we're going to change the font size of text in the table. Move the pointer on top of the left edge of the cell containing service. So that the pointer changes to the cell selection pointer. And then click, okay, so move the pointer on the top of the left, oh, okay, I need to go way over here. Okay, left edge of the cell containing service. Okay, so that the pointer changes to the cell selection pointer, the solid black arrow, and then click. The entire cell is selected. The mini toolbar, I don't see a mini toolbar, appears. So you want to change the size of the text in the table. So you will select the entire table. Notice that the selection border appears around the table. Border appears anytime this insertion point is in a table cell or part of the table is selected. Click the Table Tools Layout. Table Tools Layout, okay. And then in the table group, click Select button. Select. The Select menu opens with options to select the entire table, the current column, or the current row. Click Select the table. The entire table is selected. Select the selection border appears anytime the insertion point is in the table. The only visual cues you have that the entire table is now selected are that no cells in the table are selected. The insertion point is not blinking in any cells in the table. So that's what I was supposed to click on. I'm going to do that again. Page 21, move the pointer on top of the left edge of the cell containing service. There, okay. So that the pointer changes to the cell selection, and then click. All right, so just service is selected. The entire cell is selected and the mini toolbar now shows up. Okay, so you want to change the size of the text in the table, so you will select the entire table. Notice that, lost my place here. Oh, notice that the selection border appears around the table. This border appears anytime the insertion point is in a table cell or part of the table is selected. Click the Table Tools Layout tab if it's necessary, and then in the table group, click the Select button. Select menu appears and select the entire table. Okay, select table. The entire table is selected. Because the selection border appears anytime the insertion point is in the table. Okay, so here's your insertion point. It's not blinking in any of the cells in the table, and the select button is gray and unable is unavailable. I see that. Okay, number 4, on the ribbon, click the Home tab. In the font group, click the font size arrow and choose 24. Because the entire table is selected, the size of all the text in your table changes to 24 points. The height of all the rows in the table increases to fit the larger text size. Move the pointer on top of the top border of the table so that the pointer changes to the move pointer. And then drag the table up until the top of the table aligns with the top of the slide. And so that you can see the last row in the table. The table will be on top of the title. Click any cell in the third column. 1, 2, 3. And then click the Table Tools Layout tab. In the table group, click the Select button. And then click Select Column. All of the cells in the third column, oh, I'm in the wrong column. I thought it said row. Nope, it said column, so let me back out. Click anywhere in the third column, and then go to the Table Tools Layout, choose Select, and then select Column. All of the cells in the third column are selected. You want to change the font size of only the text in the cells below the heading row. So click in the second cell in the third column. Press and hold the Shift, and then click in the last cell in the third column. Ooh, I'm going to have to scroll down. Let me move this back up. I believe, isn't that the, yeah, that's the last. Okay. So, oh, let's see here. Let's do this again. Hopefully it's selected, and then hold down the Shift. I'm going to click here, hold down the Shift, and click in the last. All of the cells in the third column except the first cell are selected. On the ribbon, click the Home tab, and then in the font group, click the font size arrow and change it to 18. The text in the selected cells changes to 18 points, and the height of those rows decreases. Next, you will adjust the column widths to better fit the data. Step 1, we're going to click in any cell in the first column, and then click the Table Tools Layout tab at the top. In the Cell Size group, right here, click the number in the width box, and it says to type 1.3, which I have already. I have a 1.3, and then press Enter. The width of the first column is changed to 1.3. Position the pointer on the border between the second and the third columns. So that the pointer changes to the table column Resize Pointer. All right, so I've got it on the border, and then drag the border to the right until the border is between the E and the T in details. Okay, the second column is now about 3.35 inches wide. Yeah, okay, 3.39 is what I'm showing. Let me move it back just a tad. That's close enough. Click any cell in the second column, and then in the cell size group, examine the measurement in the width box, 3.36. If the measurement in the width box is not 3.35, click the width box, all right, and type 3.35. Press Enter. Position the pointer on the right border of the table so that it changes to the table column Resize Pointer. And then double click. So that it changes double click. The third column widens to accommodate the widest entry in the column. And it did not. Oops. Let me go back down. Try it again. Oh. And it did not. So position the pointer on the right border of the table so it changes to the table Resize. I am on the right side. Let me click off and get back on. And I'm going to double click. The third column widens to accommodate the widest entry in the column. If you have trouble making the pointer change to the table column Resize Pointer, move the pointer a little to the left of the right border. If you still can't do it, click the Table Tools Layout tab. Okay. Click the width box and type 4.5. Press Enter. Okay, that works. Move the pointer on top of the top, bottom, or one of the side borders of the table so that the pointer changes to the move pointer. And drag the table down so that the smart guides, all right, indicate that the table is centered horizontally and vertically. On the slide. Okay, I'm looking at the picture illustration and I'm seeing that I must have widened the wrong column. Okay, column needs to be resized to 1 point. I'm looking at the picture illustration and it's showing that the column 1 needs to be resized to 1.3. So I'm going to drag it and keep dragging. I'm just going to go up and, whoops, and type a 1.3 in the width. Column resized by dragging the grid, and then column resized to fit the widest entry. And so then I've dragged that over. Now I've got to resize this one. And this one is to be 3.35. All right, let's see, almost. Okay, so I'm going to go up and click on the width and type in 3.35. And then this one here, I double clicked so that it would fit the widest box or the widest information. All right, so the widest entry in that particular column. It's all about problem solving. Okay, and then move the table so that it's centered. So I'm going to there. Whoops, right there. Up and down. There it is. The red dotted line going across and up and down. There we go. Now we've centered it. Bottom of page 23 shows you the alignment commands on the Table Tools Layout tab. It gives you the button. It shows you the button and the name and the description. We've worked with these quite a bit in the other Microsoft softwares. To adjust the alignment of text in cells, number one, we're going to select the entire table if necessary. I have it already selected. Number two, we're going to click the Table Tools Layout tab. That is up at the top, so Layout. And then in the Alignment group, which is towards the center of the ribbon, we're going to click the Center Vertically button. The text in the table cells is now vertically, centered vertically in the cells. Let me click here and make sure. Yep. Okay, Teresa wants you to change the color of the first row in the table. So we're going to change the fill of cells in that first row of the table. In the table, click any cell in the first row. On the Table Tools Layout tab, in the Table Group, I see it, click the Select button, and then click Select Row. Click the Table Tools Design. Okay. And then Table Tools Design tab. Step 4 in the Table Styles group. Click the shading arrow. Shading arrow. The shading menu is similar to your shape fill menu that we worked with earlier. The menu also includes the table background command that you can use to fill the table background with a color or a picture. Click the tan background 2. I think it's this one. Tan background. Well, maybe it's over here. There it is, tan background 2. And then click any cell in the table to deselect. The menu closes and the cells in the first row are shaded with a light tan. The white text is hard to read on the light background. So move the pointer to the left of the first row so that it changes to the row selection pointer. All right, so I'm going to move over here. See my little black arrow over to the right, and then I'm going to click so that it selects that first row. On the Table Tools Design tab, in the Word Art Styles group, click the Text Fill arrow. This one's Text Fill arrow, and then click Black Text 1. Black Text 1. And then click any cell in the table. The text in the first row changes to black. Teresa doesn't like the changes you made. She wants you to try formatting the table with a style. When you apply a style to a table, you can specify whether the header and total rows and the first and the last columns are formatted differently from the other rows and columns in the table. You can also specify whether to use banded rows or columns, which fills alternating rows or columns with different shading. So we're going to apply a style to the table. Click the Table Tools Design tab, if necessary. In the Table Styles group, in the second style, Medium Style 2 Accent 1 is selected. In the Table Styles option group, oh, that's way over here to the left, the header row, and banded rows checkboxes are selected, which means that the header row will be formatted differently than the rest of the rows, and that every other row will be filled with shading. Page 25, step 2 in the Table Styles group, click the More button. The Table Styles gallery opens. Click the Medium Style 3 Accent 3 style. Okay, it looks like we're going to go down to the medium group, Medium Style 3. What is this one? Style 1. Style 3, Accent 3. There it is. So we click on it. And then click a blank area of the slide to deselect your table. Teresa wants you to change the borders between the rows to dark blue instead of white. Borders are different than grid lines. Grid lines are the lines that form the structure of a table. Borders are drawn on top of the grid lines. Okay, so we're going to modify the borders of the table. Click the table And then on the Table Tools Design tab, in the Draw Borders group, click the pen style arrow. Okay, is this the pen style? Yes, arrow. A menu of lined styles appears, including the no border option. Teresa wants a solid line border, so you will not change this selection. On the menu, click the solid line. The menu closes, the pointer changes to the pencil pointer. Yep, there it is. And the Draw Table button in the Draw Borders group is selected. Page 26, Step 3. In the Draw Borders group, click the Pen Weight arrow. And then click 1/4 point, 1/4 of a point. In the Draw Borders group, click the pen color arrow. And then click the dark blue accent 3, darker 50%. Dark blue, accent 3, darker 50% color. Now the borders you draw will be 1/4 point, solid, dark blue lines. To add a border, you drag the pointer along the grid line you want to add the border to. Okay, I'm going to look at the picture. Move the pointer on top of the grid line between the first cell in the second, the first cell in the second row and the first cell in the third row. Press and hold the mouse button and then drag the pointer along the grid line between the second and third rows. As you drag, a faint dash line appears. When the faint dash line is the full length of the grid line, release the mouse button. A 1/4 point solid dark blue line appears between the second and the third rows. Draw a border line between the third and fourth rows. Between the fourth and fifth rows, and between the fifth and sixth rows. You are finished adding borders to the table. In the Draw Borders group, click the Draw Table to deselect it. The pointer changes back to its usual shape. Now that you added the borders, Teresa wants you to remove the shading from every other row. In the Table Styles Options group, which is on the far left, on the ribbon, click Banded Rows, the little check mark, Banded Rows, to remove the banded rows from the table. All the rows in the table are now filled with white. Just as you can fill a shape with a picture, you can do the same with cells. Teresa wants you to add a picture to each row to make the table more interesting. To fill the cells, we're going to first start with the first column with pictures. All right, so step 1 at the bottom of page 26, in the table, click the first cell in the first cell in the second row. And then click the Table Tools Design tab if necessary. In the Table Styles group, okay, Table Styles group, click the shading arrow. And then click Picture. The Insert Pictures window opens. Click From a File. Navigate to the Module folder. Okay, we are working with PowerPoint, so and click Vet Dog. Fill the first cells in the next 4 rows with the following pictures, all located in PowerPoint 2 module folder. All right, so we're going to click the Next, and then we're going to then we're going to Table Design. Okay, we're there. And then we're going to, in the Table Styles group, click the shading arrow. Okay, here's the shading arrow. And we're going to choose Picture. From a File. And what's next? Let's see. OR. Okay, then we're going to click the Next. And we're going to go back up to Shading, choose Picture from the file, and we're choosing MRI. And then we're going to choose Chip. So Shading, Picture, File, from File, Chip. And then Teeth. Picture. The photos in the last 2 rows are too small, and they are distorted because they are stretched horizontally to fill the cells. To fix both of these problems, you'll increase the height of these rows. Step 1, click in any cell in the second row in the table. And then click the Table Tools Layout tab. In the height box, in the cell size group, 1 inch appears. The second, third, and fourth rows are each 1 inch high. Position the pointer to the left of the second to the last row, okay, in the table so that it changes to the row selection pointer. Press and hold the mouse button drag down until the pointer is to the left of the bottom row in the table and release the mouse button. The last 2 rows in the table are selected. Okay, so we're going to do that again. Step 3, on the Table Tools Layout tab in the cell group, cell size group, click the height box. type 1, press enter. The height of the selected rows increases to 1 inch. Now you will adjust the table's placement on the slide again. This time you will use the align commands instead of the smart guides. Click in any cell to deselect the last 2 rows. And then in the Arrange group, click the Align button. A menu with commands for aligning the objects on the slide appears. Because only one object, the table, is selected. Selecting a command will align the object to the borders of the slide itself. So click Align Center. The table is horizontally aligned so that it is centered between the left and the right borders of the slide. Step 6, in the Arrange group, we need to click Align button again. And this time we're going to click Align Middle. Align Middle to move the entire table up and align it in the middle of the slide. The table is vertically aligned so that it is centered between the top and the bottom borders of the slide. Compare your screen to figure 2-22. Save the changes to the presentation. You can insert some symbols, such as the trademark symbol, the registered trademark symbol, and the copyright symbol, by typing letters between parentheses and letting autocorrect change the characters to a symbol. We learned how to do that when we were working with Word. You can insert all symbols, including letters from another alphabet, by using the Symbol button in the Symbols group on the Insert tab. The hospital's slogan, "The only person who loves your pet more than we do is you," is trademarked. So Teresa wants you to add the slogan and the trademark symbol after the slogan on slide 3. Oh, excuse me, slide 5. Okay, so let's go to slide 5. Display slide 5 and then click in the title text. Title text box immediately after animals. Type parenthesis TM and then close the parenthesis. Okay, so the text TM in parentheses changes to the trademark symbol, which is it's above TM, showing TM. Teresa points out that the trademark symbol should appear after the slogan, not after the slide title. Well, I was kind of wondering what was going on here. So now we're going to press the backspace key. The symbol changes to the characters you typed, and then I press the backspace key 4 times to delete the 4 characters. Now we're going to click in the text box that contains the italicized slogan. I'm going to click immediately after the period, right after you, and then I'm going to type parenthesis, TM, parenthesis, close the parenthesis, and then space. This time, the characters you typed did not change to the trademark symbol. If this happens, you need to use the symbol dialog box to insert the symbol. So press the backspace key 4 times. And then we're going to go up to the top and click the Insert tab. And then in the Symbols group to the far right, choose Symbols. Click the Symbols button, which I did. The symbol dialog box opens. If normal text does not appear in the font box, well, it does right here. Click the font arrow and then click normal text. Okay, so mine is, it's telling you to click this. Click the subset arrow. Right over here is the subset. We're going to move to the right and we're showing currency symbols and click the down arrow. Scroll down and click letter-like symbols. Letter-like symbols. And then click the trademark symbol. Subset arrow, scroll down, click letter-like symbols, and then click the trademark symbol as shown in okay. So we're going over here and we're going to click on the TM. In the bottom left corner of the symbol dialog box, we're going to, it is right below Unicode. We're going to, below Unicode, the name of the selected character is trademark sign. Let me read that one more time. The symbol might be in a different row and column on your screen compared to what you see in the book. In the bottom left corner of the symbol dialog box below Unicode name. Oh, I see it down here. All right. I was looking over here, Unicode, but I was looking to the right when I meant, okay, I need to look to the left. The name of the selected character is trademark sign. I see that. Okay, so click Insert. In the text box containing the slogan, the trademark symbol is inserted. In the dialog box, click the Close button. All right, Teresa's first and last names contain 2 letters that are not in the English alphabet. You need to correct the spelling of Teresa's first and last names on slide 6. Display slide 6. Your pet across the border, okay. Okay. In the first bulleted item, click after the second E in Teresa. And then press the backspace. The second E in Teresa is deleted. Page 30, step 3. On the Insert tab in the Symbols group, click the Symbols button. The symbol dialog box opens. At the top of the dialog box, click the subset arrow. Scroll the menu up and then click Latin 1 Supplement. That's extended, so I need to scroll up. Latin 1 Supplement. The list of symbols in the dialog box scrolls up to display it, and then I selected it, and now I need to click the E. Okay, just like you see in the book. It's in the bottom left corner of the symbol dialog box. Okay, if we look to the bottom left corner, the name of the selected character is Latin small letter E with acute. I'm going to highlight that. I always wondered what that symbol was called, acute. Number 6, click Insert. Close. Step 8, in the first bulleted item, click after the C in Goncalves. It looks like Goncalves, but I'm sure it's pronounced another way. All right, so we're going to click after the C. press the backspace key to delete the C, and then on the Insert tab, go to Symbols, and it's going to open up. The first row contains the E that you just inserted. You need to insert the C. Let's see here. Need to insert C. Oh, it's up on the first row, which appears 2 boxes to the left of the E. In the dialog box, we clicked on it, and the name of it is Latin small letter C with cedilla. So I'm going to highlight that. I click Insert and then Close. The first bulleted item is now Teresa, and they both have the correct symbols in her name. Save the changes. Sometimes it can be helpful to have information on each slide, such as the title of the presentation or the company name. It can also be helpful to have the slide number displayed. Some presentations need the date to appear on each slide. You can easily add this information to all of your slides. Teresa wants you to add the date, the slide number, and the hospital name to each slide except for the title slide. Step 1 on page 30, at the very bottom, on the Insert tab in the text group. Okay, I'm looking for the text group. Click the Header and Footer button. The Header and Footer dialog box opens with the Slide tab selected. Step 2, click the Footer checkbox to select it. Right here's the footer. And then click in the Footer box. Page 31, we're going to type the name of the company. Windsor Veterinary Hospital. Okay, we've put this in the footer. Now we want to click the slide number. Slide number right there. Check slide number. Step 5, click the date and time. Date and time. Check box to select it. The options under this check box are no longer dimmed, indicating that you can use them. And in the preview box, the box in the bottom left is filled with black. Okay, now step 6, we're going to click the Fixed option button. Fixed. Now you want to prevent the footer, the slide number, and the date from appearing on the title slide. So step 7, we're going to click the Don't Show on Title Slide. That's at the very bottom. Don't Show on Title Slide. And then click Apply All. On slide 6, the footer, look at the bottom, the footer, the date, and the slide number are displayed. Display slide 1. Notice that the footer, the date, and the slide number do not appear on the title slide. Typically, a footer is any text that appears at the bottom of every page in a document. In PowerPoint, a footer is specifically the text that appears in the footer box on the slide tab in that dialog box and in the corresponding footer text box on the slides. The text box can appear anywhere on the slide. Note pages and handouts can also have a footer, but you need to add that separately. The text you enter in the footer box on the slide tab in the header and the footer dialog box does not appear on note pages and handouts. A header is information displayed at the top of every page in a document. Slides do not have headers, but you can add a header to handouts and note pages. In PowerPoint, a header refers only to the text that appears in the header box on the Notes and the Handouts tab in the header and footer dialog box. You can also display a date and the page number on handouts and note pages. We're going to modify the header and footer on handouts and note pages. On the Insert tab in the text group, click the Header and Footer button. The Header and Footer dialog box opens with the Slide tab selected. Okay, you have a Slide tab and then you have a Notes and a Handouts tab. Click the Notes and Handouts tab. The page number checkbox is selected by default. And in the preview, the lower right rectangle is bold to indicate that this is where the page number will appear. Step 3, click the header checkbox and then type Windsor Veterinary Hospital. Oops, I gotta click inside the little box. Click the footer checkbox. And then, let's see, click the footer checkbox to select it. Click in the footer box itself, and then type your name. Step 5, click the Apply to All. Apply to All. To see the effect of modifying the handouts and the note pages, you need to look at the print previews. So click the File tab to open the Backstage view, and then in the navigation pane, click Print. Step 7, under the Settings, click the Full Page Slides. Okay, the Full Slides button, and then click Notes Pages. The preview shows slide 1 as a notes page. The header and the footer you typed appear along with the page number. Okay, page 33. At the top of the navigation bar, click the Back button. Well, I'm trying to. Let me get over there. There we go. And then save your changes. This concludes session 1 of PowerPoint Chapter 2.